Hey everybody, Davey Stello coming at you once again with another Rocky Mountain Rankings. And it's been a while since I did my last one, 2 weeks. And that's because last weekend, while the shop was closed for 3 days for President's Day weekend, I was down there stripping and waxing the floor. And I'd planned on getting it done in 2 days and having Monday off, but unfortunately things didn't work out that way. So Monday afternoon I spent finishing up things. Didn't feel like doing a video because by the time I got home after 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to remember it. I'm just glad it happens once a year. So anyway, also lost some weight off the face. I was going to shave it last weekend, but I'm glad I didn't because, well, mainly I was too tired to do that. And plus it got cold again here. Last weekend was in the 50s, and it got back down to the 30s, and boy, oh boy. I swear it was a lot colder than it had, than before that. And I think it's because we were starting to get used to the warmer temperatures that Mother Nature is teasing us with. And so when she decided to go back to the 30s, it seemed a lot worse. So, but what can you do? So anyway, before I get started, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Doesn't cost you anything. Change your mind later. You can always unsubscribe, but it would help my channel out. Please leave a comment down below and like and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And tonight we're going to be ranking the albums of a very great individual here. Whether you agree with his personal lifestyle or not, it doesn't matter. His personal lifestyle is his personal lifestyle, and that's just like your personal lifestyle is yours. It doesn't matter. What matters here is he puts out great music, and of course, I'm talking about Elton John. And he's been going at it since the mid '60s. Uh, him and his lyricist Bernie Taupin. And boy, do they put out some great music. And tonight, I'm not gonna do the whole discography, mainly because I don't own the whole discography. I only own, say, 13 albums out of I think 20 plus. So tonight I'm only going to do the classic era, and that's from '69 to '76. Yeah. Later on down the road, when I get more of his discography, I'll probably do another one. But right now, these are the classics. This is the classic era. This is the stuff I love. And what's interesting, I did an episode on bands and individuals I didn't like back in the day when I was younger, but I do now. And Elton John was one of them. Back when I was younger, I only owned one album, and that was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And the only reason why I like that really is because of Love Lies Bleeding. I can't even think of the name of the song now. But the opening song, oh, I hate when I do that. A little brain fart. Yeah, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. That combo right there. Heard on the radio, I fell in love. I know. How can I not remember that song if I love it so well? Well, it's easy. You get thinking about 1,000 things at the same time, and it's easy to forget certain little tidbits. So, of course, I also liked Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. I mean, who doesn't love that song? Benny and the Jets, and so on. But I mainly bought the album for the first track, and boy, I still love it today. But as for the rest of it, at the time, I really wasn't interested. I was more interested in, Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Pink Floyd and stuff like that. So fast forward many years, probably about 6, 7 years ago, finally decided, hey, I'm going to check out these albums I've always been curious about by Elton John and see if I like them. Went on YouTube, ended up buying everything from Empty Sky to, what was it, Rock of the Westies. I have 3 albums that come after that. Let's see. Peachtree Road. Let's see. Yeah, Captain and the Kid, which is a good one. Peachtree Road, also good, and The Big Picture. And you're probably asking, well, why don't you buy some more? Why don't you buy the other stuff? And, well, takes moolah. And I've listened to some of the other stuff, and though I like it, I'm not in a hurry to buy it. I'll eventually get all of his albums, but until then, the classic era is what I love, and that's what we're going to do. So anyway, let's get into it here. Get back to what I need to be here. Okay. For all those who don't know how this works, I start with my least favorite and work up to my favorite. The thing is about the classic era is when I sat down and made this list, I had a heck of a time. I mean, they're all strong albums. I love every single one of them. So I had to sit there and think, okay, which album do I listen to? Do I listen to the least? And which do I listen to the second to the least? And when you have a strong classic era like Elton John has right here in the early 70s, it's tough. It makes it tough. So just because it's number 10, number 9 doesn't mean I don't like it. I love these albums. It just means I don't reach for it as much. So that's how this is going to work. So anyway, let's get into it. Starting out number 10, there's going to be 10 albums. Released June 6, 1969. And let's see. Yeah, whoa, I didn't notice that. Released June 6, 1969. It would not be released in the United States till 1975 on MCA. Wow, I did not see that. Interesting. So anyway, talking about Empty Sky, his debut album. Though I've heard people argue that no, this is his second album. The one that's just called Elton John is his debut. No, this is his debut album. And just because it's got a title and the second album doesn't mean it's the other way around. Anyway, this is still a great album. It starts with Empty Sky and Valhalla. Great tunes. Western Ford Getaway, Hymn 2000, Lady What's Tomorrow, you know, Sails, The Scaffold, classic Skyline Pigeon, and ends with Gulliver. It's Haychud and Rispus. I mean, not a strong debut, but still a must-have for any Elton John fan. This has got bonus tracks on here. Lady Samantha, All Across the Heavens, All Across the Heavens. I just like the way he says it. It's me and that's you. It's me that you. It's me that you need. I'll get that out. I'll get it out eventually. And just like Strange Rain, I mean, uh, those bonus tracks add to this. You know, sometimes you get bonus tracks and they're just different versions of songs that are already on the album. Here it's songs that were probably taken. Let's see, what are? Yeah, they were put on here or reissue in 1996. Okay. Oh, here's some interesting notes. Valhalla, which on here is, I'll show it to you if you can see how it's got the dash in the middle there, was properly titled Valhalla on the 1975 US reissue. So it's not supposed to have the dash in there, apparently. Haychud was mistakenly titled It's Haychud. And that's the way it is on here. It's Haychud. It's supposed to be Haychud. Okay. Was mistakenly titled It's Haychud on the 1995 CD reissue. Okay. So that's so apparently it's not supposed to have it's. It's just supposed to be Haychud. Haychud. Side 1 and side 2 were combined as a 1 through 9 on CD reissues. Yes. Okay. Apparently, it's supposed to have more 11 tracks, but the last one is combined, which makes sense. So anyway, good album. Not one I reached for a lot. Oh, this also had the U.S. Issue had an alternate cover. Had a look like the Sphinx with, I guess that's a boat on his paw. Anyway. Oh well. This, well, I don't know. That it's kind of a bizarre drawing. I mean, it's just an outline, you know, and colored in and stuff of a Sphinx. But I think this one's a little bit better. I don't always go for covers with the band or the individual on it, but this one works. So anyway, classic album. Oh, the other interesting thing about these is how they've done the CD. Looks like a little miniature 45, which is kind of neat. In fact, all these classic era, they're classic years right there. And if you'll see, it goes this way, and right at the top is Empty Skies, followed by Elton John. So there's two I won't be doing. There'll be this one, which is a live album, and then this one over here and there. I think that's like it was piano versions or something. But anyway, trying to get some back together here. I don't know if there's any pictures in here. I think there are some of these have, some don't. Okay, it just has Elton and Bernie right there. That's about it. This one doesn't have too many pictures. The other ones do. So anyway, let's go to number 10, Empty Sky. Okay, moving right along. This next one, number 9, is when I first heard it, I was kind of like, well, is Elton and Bernie going country here? And if you know anything about Bernie Taupin, he is big into westerns. He was raised on a farm. From what if I remember correctly, and from what I understand, as a child he lived on a farm that had no electricity or running water. So it wasn't until later they moved to a different farm that had electricity and wanted water. I think it started to improve for him. Living on a farm without electricity and running water, having to go to the well every day. I don't know. But anyway, Bernie is big into westerns. Excuse me. I ate some more cookies. Gotta stay away from those chocolate chip cookies, but they're so dang good, But anyway, Bernie, like I said, he's big into westerns. And if you listen to a lot of Elton stuff, other than the hits, there is a country flavor to him, and it doesn't show more than on this album right here. Released March 1970 in October. March 1970 and released. Oh, okay. Recorded in March 1970. Released October 1970 in the United Kingdom and January 1971 in the United States. It's a concept album based on country and western and Americana themes. And of course, it's like I said, it's big. Bernie's big into western themes, Americana. Of course, talking about the Tumbleweed Connection. Now, I'm not one for too much for western theme, even though I live here in the West and I'm surrounded by it. I was raised in the country. Raised on a farm, country life. Digging potatoes, cutting asparagus. Yeah. Didn't milk any cows, thank God. But it's there, and I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Living in the country is just a special time. A lot of people say, well, the city is a great place to grow up, but I disagree. And this album, like I said, it's big into a lot of Western themes. Starts out with the Ballad of a Well-Known Gun. Classic. When I first heard it, I fell in love with it. I mean, it's got a country music flavor on it, but it's still country rock here. Let's put this down. This is country rock. Come Down in Time goes back to more conventional Elton John's themes. Country Comfort's great. Son of Your Father, I love it. My Father's Gun, another great Western flavored theme. Where to Now, St. Peter, it's okay. Love Song, Amarina, fantastic. talking to old soldiers and burn down the mission. I mean, this is when I was talking about it was tough ranking these. I mean, it is. It's totally tough. Has two bonus tracks on it. Into the Old Man's Shoes. It's all right. And Madman Across the Water. It's the original version. Those two songs are okay. Madman Across the Water, the original version. I'm not a big fan of it. When it comes on, Madman Across the Water, I love that one, but we're gonna hit ourselves right there. But all in all, strong album. Um, Back album with Elton on the back. Love this cover. Got Elton right there and Bernie right here, waiting for the train station. This one's got a lot of interesting pictures in it. Elton and Bernie right there. Ballad of a Well-Known Gun. They don't, songs in here, they don't have them in correct order here for some reason. They're all mixed up. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Of course, there's Elton and Bernie. Here's the players on the album. Great group of musicians. And they also come with the little stories about the recording of the album, which is really neat. I like when they add that in there. It adds to it. It gives you context of the recording and what went on. Of course, there it is again, the 45, which I love too. But like I said, it's a good album. I just don't reach for it as much as the ones that are to come. But when I do, it's a fun album. I mean, it's not for every, I know there's probably people that have heard it and say, well, I'm not in love with the country music theme, but all in all, like I said, it's a concept album. So, but anyway, this is this classic. So, Television Connection. Okay. Okay, this next one, we're gonna start get into more of the hits, albums that contain the hits. The previous two didn't. I don't think they had any radio hits on them. I'd have to go back and read, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this next one released January 1973. It was John's sixth normal studio album release. Normal. First of his two studio albums released in 1973. Okay. What that means? A normal studio album release. Okay. Whatever. Of course, we're talking about this number 8. Don't shoot me. I'm only the piano player. So don't shoot me, man. I just play the piano. If you shoot the piano player, you'll have a hard time getting luck. Yes. Title, when I first heard the title, I'm like, Do you really want to hear what's on here? But it's a good album. Uh, Starts out with a song that I wasn't really in love with back in the day, and really still not madly in love with it. It's a good song, but I it got overplayed, and it still gets overplayed. Daniel, whatever. Um, like I said, it's a good song, just been overplayed. I don't really need to hear it again. Uh, Teacher, I Need You, love that one. Really upbeat song. Elderberry Wine, great song. Blues for My Baby and Me is all right. Midnight Creeper, yes, great song. The Midnight Creeper. Uh, Have Mercy on the Criminal, it's good. I'm Going to Be a Teenage Idol, kind of a shout back to the 1950s. Uh, Texas Love Songs, good. Another song that sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't want to hear it. Of course, Crocodile Rock is what I'm talking about. Um, to this day, I would love I would love to ask Elton about that song. Why did you know, why did Bernie write the song, write the lyrics, and why did you? It's a, don't get me wrong, it's a classic song. It's a classic song. It just one of those songs. Sometimes you like to throw it out the window, and other days it hits okay. But listen to the other songs on this album. It sticks out like a sore thumb, if you know what I mean. It does. It doesn't really fit with the other songs. I mean, if you've never heard it, then you've been living in a cave. But anyway, the album ends with High Flying Bird, which is all right. Um, Bonus tracks. Screw You, Young Man's Blues. When I heard that, I just about burped. I burped out laughing. Burst out laughing, but it's a good song. Jackrabbit's okay. Whenever you're ready, we'll go steady again. And a piano version of Skyline Pigeon. Out of those, Screw You is my favorite. But yeah, it's this album. This album could have actually been lower, but there are songs on here I like a little bit more than the two previous ones. But I would still like to talk to Elton about Crocodile Rock. I mean, this doesn't fit with the other songs. I may be, that's me, of course. To me, it doesn't fit, but it may fit with you. So anyway, let's move right along. Number 8. Don't shoot me. I'm on the piano. I'm on the piano player. Pierre the piano. Pierre the piano. Okay. Released April 10th, 1970. Get right into this one. The album that's often mistaken for Elton's first album. Of course, I can see probably why it would be here in the United States, seeing as how Empty Sky was not released until 1975. So I can see why people would think, well, Elton John is his first album when it's actually not. Empty Sky is his first album. Of course, talk about Elton John. And it's got that song on it that a lot of people love and a lot of people hate. And of course, I'm talking about Your Song. I don't mind it. I mean, it's still a nice, mellow song. Helps you unwind sometimes. Is it my favorite song? No. But still a good song. And I've heard people say they'll, it reminds me of their days at school, their first love, stuff like that. So uh, I need you to turn. Let's see. I need you to turn two. Good song. Take Me to the Pilot. I like that one. No Shoestrings for Louise. All right. First episode of Hinaton. Hinaton. I think that's how. I've always had a hard time pronouncing that. 60 Years On. Border Song. Love. Greatest Discovery. The Cage. And The King Must Die. This album is where Elton's and Bernie are starting to show how strong they can be in their songwriting. All in all, not my, one I reach for a lot, but still, all in all, still a strong album. The bonus tracks on here, Bad Side of the Moon's great. Original version of Gray Seal, which would come later on Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and Rock and Roll Madonna, great ender. Those songs I like. They add to the whole album. And I got this 2008 Deluxe Edition bonus disc. Interesting. Which I won't get in. There's quite a few songs on here. Let's see. Of course, the songs that from the original recording. Along with, say, Thank You Mama, all the way down to El Paso, piano demo. Both those are piano demos. See, all these are piano demos. I'm Going Home, Gray Seal, Rock and Roll Madonna, Bad Side of the Moon. Let's see, another 1970 version of Gray Seal. Okay. But anyway, let's see. I forgot to show you the previous album. Getting ahead of myself here. Let's go back to Don't Shoot Me. Show you what's in here. There's Elton John when he was known as Reg. Elton and Bernie. Of course, most of these are of Elton and Bernie. And they've said they've never gotten sick of each other. A lot of singers and songwriters eventually tire of each other and get on each other's nerves and end up saying things they wish they hadn't said. Okay, now let's see. There's the players on Elton John. This one doesn't have, let's see, this has any other pictures. No. Bigger picture of the people involved. Of course, this and then the story of recording it. But album, where he's coming to his own. Him and Bernie are coming to their own, and sneak peek of what was to come. So, anyway, number 7, Elton John. I got this next one. If you get past the cover, which I'm sorry, but I'm not a big fan of. Uh, but aside from that, it's a great album. Uh, Released in 1974. It doesn't have a month. I wonder why. Anyway, coming at number 6. So I'm talking about Caribou. Sorry, Elton. I'm not a big fan of that picture of you on the cover. Um, the background without you would have been better, but then those pants and shirt he's got on, I know he's known for his wild stage costumes, but that I don't know. It just doesn't work. Sorry. But that aside, got one of his classics hits, "The Bitch Is Back." One of the few songs ever played on the radio that I haven't got sick of. I love that song. It's funny. It's great. Followed by Pinky. This is good. Grimsby. Dixie Lily. Fun little, Pat Wheeler type song, country song. Solar Prestige and Gamon. Bizarre title, but still, great song. You're So Static, love that one. I've seen the Saucers, okay, Stinker. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, one of his classics. And ends with Ticking. Ticking, ticking. And then, let's see, the bonus songs, Pinball Wizard from the movie, or from Tommy, the movie Tommy. Sick City, Cold Highway, and Step Into Christmas. Step Into Christmas, I'm not a big fan, but Sick City and Cold Highway is good. All Night, another classic album. Like I said, all these albums are you have a hard time figuring out which one you love more. I certainly did. But here, Bernie and Elton at their strongest. But yeah, another interesting thing on his albums is he didn't have his touring band, just his the people who toured with him, support band, play on the albums. On here, he had David Johnstone, Dee Murray, and Nigel Olson playing, but he also had others, guest stars, Tony Tennille, does backy vocals on track 9. Just, and it made the albums interesting. It really did. It added to the songs. So anyway, moving right along. Album cover that could have been better. Sorry, Elton. Oh, let's get into the meat of it before I get ahead of myself again. Of course, there's Bernie and Elton. This one doesn't have too many pictures. Let's see. Of course, there's Elton, Ray Cooper. Let's see, what did Ray? Let's see. Oh, he played tambourine, congas, whistle, vibraphone, snare, clarinets, bell, tuba bells. D. Murray, of course, plays the bass. Davey, guitars. Nigel, drums, one of the great drum players. So, back in there. Okay, but anyway, number 6, Caribou. Okay. Released in 1972. Doesn't have a month. I don't know why they don't have the month on here. It was recorded at the Chateau de Hérouville. As I'm talking about Honky Chateau. Of course, this one, if you know your Elton John, this holds a bunch of classics. Starts out with another one of my favorites, Honky Cat. Get back, honky cat, get back. Don't know why, but even though it's been played to death on the radio, I still love that song. Mellow's great. I think I'm going to kill myself. Yeah, that song is good, but depending on how you look at it, it could be a downer. Susie, good one. Of course, Rocket Man, another classic. Really, another song that sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. It depends on the day. Salvation's great. Slave, great upbeat rocker. Slave, slave. Amy's good. Mona Lisa and Mad Hatter's great and ends with Hercules. This one, oddly, has only got one bonus track, the alternate version of Slave. I don't know why they don't have more, but anyway. There's the players on the album and the writer. This one's, that's a picture of Bernie. Not too many pictures in this one. So, anyway. Another one where Elton is at the height of his powers. Of course, he may have became less prevalent as the 70s ended and the 80s went on. Especially with the advent of punk and so on. But still, great album, Honky Chateau, number 5. Okay, this next one is considered the last of the classic era. Don't get me wrong, the stuff that comes later is good, but this is the classic era, and it'll always be the classic era. At least that's my view, and the view of a lot of people. Released October 4th, 1975. The title was Spoonerism of the phrase West of the Rockies. Okay. So, of course, Rock of the Westies. Another album cover that I'm not a big fan of. Like somebody was just having a conversation with Elton one day and said, "Hey, Elton, look here." Click. I was like, "Oh, great picture. You could at least let me shave first." But all in all, another hit loaded album. Starts with a medley, Yell Help, Wednesday Nights, an Ugly combo. Great, great intro songs there. Dan Dare, Pilot of the Future, good. Island Girl, of course. Island Girl. Island Girl. Of course, I sometimes sing Island Squirrel. That's the thing about some of Elton's songs. The way he sings, it sounds like he's saying something else when he's not. You know, I'll get into more on that later. Grow Some Funk on Your Own. Another song that grow some skunks on your own, baby. I feel like a bullet in the gun of Robert Ford. A song that could have appeared on the Tumblebee Connection. And when I heard that, I'm like, well, was this meant for that? Of course, I don't think it was. I think it was written about this, 1975. So, but it could have fit perfect on the album. Street Kids, good. Hard Luck Story, Full or Feed Me, and Bully Bones and the White Birds, good. Oddly enough, another or only one bonus track. Don't Go Breaking My Heart with Kiki D. Not a big fan. It's okay. Don't get me wrong. But I just didn't get into it. Of course, there's the players on the album. Bernie on there with his, I don't know what kind of chaps he's wearing there on it, but I don't know. Kind of think that's the picture taken right after that. Or maybe it was before. There's Bernie. Davey trying to look all cool. Ray Cooper again. This one's James Newton Howard. What did he say? James Newton Howard. Where is he on here? Electric piano, synthesizer. I don't see him on here. That's weird. Oh, no, there he is. Right at the top. Harpsichord and stuff. Synthesizers. The rest of the guys. All in all, great end to the classic era. Just again, like I said, he had a lot of guest players on it. Sometimes it takes away from an album, but a lot of times it adds. I hear it adds these guest players. But yeah, great album. Number 4, Rock of the Westies. Okay, now we're to the album that very first album I bought of Elton John's. Because of Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, and Saturday Night. I think he's only got, it's the first double LP. Released in 1973. Of course, I'm talking about Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. This one could have easily been my number 1, but I think the ones that come after, well, number one, number two, a little bit more special, but still, this holds a lot of memories for me. First time I heard "Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding" on the radio, I just fell in love. I mean, just awesome intro to this album. It just sends chills up your spine every time I hear it. Even today, uh, I bought it on LP. Of course, it's back before CDs, for these little things. Followed by "Candle in the Wind," which was okay back then, but I don't need to hear it now. And one of those songs that's worn out its welcome. Benny the Jets, still love it. Goodbye the Yellow Brick Road, love that song. The song has no titles, great. Gray Seal, I like that one. This version of Gray Seal a little bit better than the other one that's what I think was on. Don't Shoot Me, on the piano player. Jamaican Jerk Offs, fun tune. I've seen that movie too. Great slow mover. Sweet Painted Lady is great. The Ballad of Danny Bailey is great. Dirty Little Girls, fantastic. All the Girls Love Alice. Ding, 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 ding. Love the way it comes in, the way it starts out. Then it goes into fast rocker. Your sister can't dance or can't twist, but she can rock and roll. And of course, that leads right into Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Never get sick of that one. And another country flavored one, Roy Rogers. Roy Watt Rogers is riding tonight. Social Disease, Social Disease and Harmony. And this one has, this one doesn't have the bonus tracks on it. Okay, that's 30th anniversary of 2003. It came with "Whenever You're Ready, We'll Go Steady Again," Jackrabbit, "Screw You," the Young Man's Blues, and "Candle in the Wind" remix. So songs that's been released before, except with "Whenever You're Ready." This, another fantastic album. Not too many pictures in here. This is basically how the LP was, with these different pictures for the different songs. Clark Gable. there's the players. This, I believe, this is the first album that just involved the band. Let's see, over here. I'll get it right. Just the band. Usually had, I don't think he had too many. No, he didn't. Not very many guest musicians on this one. It's basically just Davey, D, Elton, and Nigel. There's a picture. Bernie right there in that picture. I think that was his wife. Dirty Little Girls. His Love Alice. And of course, the stories behind it, which really add to it. But if you've never heard any of these albums, you're missing out. And a lot of people, they hear Elton John's name and say, not interested. Now, a couple of people like that. I won't name them. But anyway, fun stuff. Check it out. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Number 3. Right along. Okay. Now, I know I've probably said this many a time, and I'll continue to say it. When you do a ranking the albums, it's when you've got a strong discography like this, it makes it really tough, especially with the top 2. These 2 albums could switch places anytime, but right now we're going to go with the way it is. Released 1971. Is where John was rising to prominence in the as a popular music artist. Okay, I love this album. I'm talking about Madman Across the Water. Interesting cover. Could have been a little bit better. I think they could have come up with something more elaborate, but it's okay. Fantastic album. Of course, has a couple of great radio mainstays, Tiny Dancer and Leave On. Tiny Dancer, I'm not a big fan of. Leave On, I am. Love it. Then followed by Razor Face. First time I heard that, I just fell in love with that song. Have you seen Razor Face? Looking for a place to live. And then, of course, my favorite track, Madman Across the Water. Haunting song. Another song that's inspired a future book, and that hopefully I'll get around to write someday. I hope. But it's just a haunting melody. I mean, the way it just comes in, doom, 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 doom. Elton's haunting vocals. I mean, first time I heard it, I fell in love with that one. Indian Sunsets, great. Holiday Inns, good. Rotten Peaches, love it. All the Nasties, and Goodbye. Like I said, this could be easily my number 1. But my number 1, I think, is just a tad better than this one. But still, if you've never heard this album, go check it out. Check out all these albums. But especially this one and the one that's to come. I mean, fantastic. I know, like I said, a lot of people hear Elton John and it's like a switch turns them off. No, not interested. Get out, get away. Give it a chance. Of course, that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. To get people information. And a lot of times when I watch programs like this, and I hear people discuss stuff I've never seen or heard before, I immediately go and check it out. I mean, well, not immediately, but I go check it out. It gets me excited. And even stuff that I've heard before, after they talk about it, I want to go listen to it. So even after I've talked about this stuff, right now, I'd like to go listen to this right now, but maybe later. So anyway, that's number 2, Madman Across the Water. Okay. Now, to my number 1. Released, let's see, May 1975. I just love this album. Of course, I'm talking about Captain Fantastic and Brown Dirt Cowboy. I get that mixed up sometimes. I call it the Dirt Brown Cowboy sometimes. But the Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. And I'd always been curious about this album. I mean, look at that cover. I love it. This is one of the best Elton John covers ever made. Of course, there's Bernie right there. There's so much going on there, so many different creatures. Of course, I forgot to show the previous one, but oh well. Not too many pictures in this one. Elton. Now, this album is basically it's a concept album about how Elton and Bertie started out and their adventures and stuff. And I always wondered about that, when then I read up on it. But yeah, it's a concept album, autobiographical. I can have to say that. Autobiographical glimpse at the struggles of Elton John, Captain Fantastic, and Bernie Taupin, the Brown Dirt Cowboy. What the struggles they had in the early days. Of course, then there's the sequel, Captain and the Kid, came out in 2006. But this album is just chock full of fantastic music. I mean, there's not really a weak song on here. I mean, it starts out with Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. Love it. Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel. Do, 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 do. Bitter Fingers. Tell me when the whistle blows. Somebody saved my life tonight. Love it. Got to get a meal ticket. Better Off Dead. Writing. We All Fall in Love Sometimes, and Curtains. I mean, just chock full of fantastic songs. The bonus tracks, you got Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I was never a big fan of the Beatles tune, and I'm still not a big fan here. One Day at a Time's okay. Philadelphia Freedom, I love that song. That's a good ender. Good bonus track, but yeah, it's just like I said. It's just chock full of too many classic songs. I mean, the only one that could be weak is the Better Off Dead or Writing. Maybe that's just by a smidgen. But all in all, they're all strong. So if you've never heard this album and you're always been curious, check it out on YouTube or YouTube Music. I mean, it only takes a few minutes of your time, and who knows, you might find something you'll fall in love with. We all fall in love sometimes. So anyway, that's it. Number 1, Captain Fantastic. 2, Madman Across the Water. 3, Goodbye Yellowbrick Road. 4, Rock of the Westies. 5, Honky Chateau. 6, Caribou. 7, Elton John, the second album. Not the first, the second album. 8, Don't Shoot Me. 9, Tumbleweed Connection. And 10, Empty Sky, Elton John's first album. Go check them out. They're all fantastic. Um, like I said, and I listened to his other. See, what's his one that comes after Rock and the Westies? Yeah, Blue Moves. Another double album that was released in 1976. I think I've listened to it twice. I just listened to it again the other day, and it's grown on me. He's working with different songwriters here. Bernie does appear on a couple, I believe. Yeah, it's like 4. At this point, they're kind of getting away with from each other for a moment. But from what I've heard so far, it's still a good album, and I'm gonna investigate it further. Excuse me. Like I said, the rest of his discography is just strong. I mean, well, good, not strong. You know, that's still, the jury's still out on that. So I've got Big Picture, Captain the Kid, and Peachtree Road. They're okay. I'd like to listen to them sometimes. I don't reach for them too much. I did listen to Leather Jackets, and that seems like a good album, but eventually I'm going to get to checking out the rest of his stuff. But like I said, he's got a lot of albums here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 22. Yeah, 30 albums. So, but I suggest go out. Definitely check out the first 10, the classic era, but go out and check all his discography out. Whether you agree with his lifestyle or not, it's just, I like his music. I don't care what, like I said before, I don't care how he lives his lifestyle. That's him and his husband. That's their lifestyle. One I will commend him on is they are not, and they've said this, they're not pressuring or putting anything on their children on how they should be in their life when they grow up. They're going to let their kids grow up and be what they are. So, and I commend them on that. A lot of people nowadays are, I'll probably get some flack for this, but I don't care. They're pushing their kids too fast to accept lifestyles that later on they probably won't want to accept. Let your kids be kids. Let them grow up and be what they are going to be, not what you want them to be. Just let them be what they want to be. Don't pressure. I mean, we get enough pressure when we grow up. When we're kids, we don't need all that pressure. So anyway, go check out Elton John's songs and stuff and decide on your own. But this is, that's the way it is. So anyway, have a good week, and hope everything's going good for you. And this world is starting to get a little crazy, but it'll work out. Things will work out. So just keep going. That's all we can do. And don't give up until the fat lady sings, whoever that is. So anyway, have a good weekend or good week, and we'll all see next Monday, if not sooner.